Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Got a microphone. Let's see how that works. Big accomplishment. I hope it's gonna work nicely. Gonna treat me nicely, otherwise we're gonna end cooperation, the contract. So I have an article here that tells us about some aid in billions that Ukraine is supposed to receive or was supposed to receive, but it seems like Germany put a roadblock, and it's either incrementally received or it's going to be never received by Ukraine. I think the Germans, I think I know what they're trying to do, and they hope the war ends before the money is transferred, so they can, instead of sending everything at once, they can block it at any time. So let's see what this article is all about. So, all right, this article comes from Republic World from July 10th, 2022. This is a title: Germany blocks 9 billion euros of EU aid to Ukraine. Now I think euro is the same value as the parity is exactly the same between the dollar and the euro, because the dollar became stronger. Hanky-panky business there. Germany has blocked an estimated 9 billion euros of EU package for providing humanitarian assistance to Ukraine, the Kiev Independent reported. And then we have here that Corriere della Sera, that's an Italian media outlet, says Germany blocks EU's 9 billion euros help to Ukraine. Germany has been blocking the aid for more than a month, according to the Italian newspaper's sources. Berlin approved only the first tranche of 1 billion euro. Only. All right, only. It's only one. But the thing is like this, so it's 9 billion. What can you do with 9 billion? I think what the Germans are doing, they assume that they will start crying in about 2 months, or maybe 2 months, 3 months, when the weather gets colder, and they will start putting pressure on these guys and the sponsors of Ukraine, and to end the war or do something about it, because their economy is going to go into deep doo-doo, and the citizens will not put up with all those restrictions, will not use water, hot water, take less showers, no showers, don't use electricity. I mean, that means training. You don't train a society just overnight. They're used to good life, not good life, but essential things being there always. Not like, oh my God, we don't have bread tonight. For the next 2 weeks, we don't have money to buy bread. I mean, those cases are, but for the most part, the German society is not used with these kind of things. I'm talking about current one. So 9 billion given to Ukrainians, but taken from whom? European Union funds. Where are those funds coming from? This is always, are they coming from the budget of the European Union because European Union has a surplus somewhere? Or those are banks? I think the second option. And those are international banks that will provide it with interest, not like for help. So I think that's why the Germans are expecting 2 months to stop this. So if they just say, okay, 9 billion right now, and who administers those billions in Ukraine? Zelensky and what's his name, the prime minister? Oh my God, another one? I don't think so. I know how that money goes in those countries, like they come to Romania. By the time they go to the project, it's going to be like 2%. The rest somehow gets lost in the process. They're the same. A corrupt country, the same as Romania. Corruption is everywhere. It's just how, the proportionality, how much it is, and how can you have a life. If I have a good life, I don't care if that guy is really buying 3, Bentleys or something, or 3 houses. If I can buy one, I think I'm okay with that. I have a decent life and I can do intellectual things instead of, just material stuff. So nevertheless, it's not about that. because we find here that Shmyhal, which is the Prime Minister of Ukraine, right? He just received 1.7 billion grant. So another article from today says that Ukraine to get 1.7 billion grant to cover healthcare expensive. Denis Shmyhal is as Ukrainian Prime Minister. Denis Shmyhal, I would say the Prime Minister of Ukraine. But that's me, and I am entitled to do that because it's free speech, right? All right, so he announced that Ukraine will get $1.7 billion grant to cover healthcare expenses, the Kiev Independent reported. He said that the funds have been allocated by the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the International Development Association, and US aid. Great, 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 and I hope that it's for free and there's no strings attached, and people will get it for aid. There's not going to be any, no requirements, being a grant, you're not supposed to give the money back, no interest. Fantastic, fantastic. $1.7 billion. That's good, but what about the 9 billion euros? Are they coming? I don't know, man. It's so much naivete here. Is because people here lived in a, I'm serious about it, lived in a organized society, disciplined to a certain extent society, with cases of corruption, far in between, and those people caught and punished and all that. So lately it started being like kind of in your face, like in Romania. But for the most part, people say, well, fine, I'm okay with that. They're like that. So they can't really, no, I don't say they can't, but it's hard for them to believe that when I speak with fellow Americans, it's hard for them to believe that, what, here? Do you mean that we're not going to have bread or rationalized electricity or, nah, in America? For them, it's almost impossible to even comprehend that it's a possibility. And I'm like, I hope not, but, so thought other people, and it happened. So for them, it's going to be a bigger shock when or if that will happen. I hope it doesn't, but I foresee things going in that direction. And in the name of, of us staying together, defending our country, defending what's good and all that, all these, terms used to put us together and so on, you have to have a worse lifestyle for whom? For whom? I mean, it's and they make connections between, if Putin does what he does in Ukraine, you'll be next. Remember the domino effect, the theory? That's why we had to go over there and destroy the Vietnamese and so on, because of the domino effect. So if Vietnam falls to the communists, then all East Asia will fall, and we're doomed. But it didn't take into consideration because in the consideration that what? China turned communist, and there were about almost 1 billion people at that time. But Vietnam and all those East Asia, so we got to stop them there. Now it's the same. We got to stop Putin because it's going to be the domino effect. They're going to find something else, some different term, something beautiful, I don't know, in euphemism, and then scare us into it. Well, I hope the Ukrainians and the Russians are going to end up good, and I hope that people help the reconstructions, but I don't want the banks to help the reconstruction, because once a bank gets involved, the bank gets involved for a profit, not to help, and the profit is going to end up taking everything, because Ukraine will be incapable of paying the bank, and the bank will take the collateral, which is the country. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.